Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ganesh from India. Today we are going to discuss about how to do a quality research project. Because whenever any scholar want to do some research, it means that they want to do a research project in postgraduate level and the PhD level, Doctor of Philosophy level. So they need to follow some steps. If they follow these steps, definitely they can produce a wonderful quality research project in his career. First we see that what is research. From this picture we can see that what we can able to see. There are different ways and means to we can understand from this picture. The first thing is that some people they may be thinking that there are a lot of horses are there. That is one way of understanding from this picture. And another way is we can see that there are some snows as well as some rocks also there. So that is one way of perception. So the perception, it varies from one person to another person. The same way the problems are available, the problems are surrounded by us, but how we are approaching the problem and how we are going to solve the problem, that is going to be the biggest challenge. That means the research is simply we can say that research. So whatever it is already it is available, from that we need to again research. That is, we call it as an research. And with another one picture we can see that what is an research. By seeing this picture, everyone will immediately will say that there are 4 people are standing, there are 4 persons are standing. This is the first understanding from this picture. If you look properly, then we can understand that there are 4 pillars are there. So the same way the research, how you are looking into the problem and how you are solving the problem. That is the way we can able to produce a good quality research. If they want to do a quality research, then every scholar has to follow these steps. The first one is the topic selection, and then literature survey, problem formulation, extended abstract, identifying the supervisor, software packages, hardware setup, project funding, periodical meetings, documentation, research paper preparation, conference presentations and journal publications, PowerPoint slide preparation and thesis writing. These are all the steps, and each and every step what we need to follow, that we will discuss now. The topic selection is going to be a first and primary duty. If we land up with a wrong topic, if we don't properly select our topic, then we will end up with the worst results. We cannot able to produce a quality research. So for that, how to select a topic? For example, in computer science and information technology domain, there are a lot of domains are there, lot of topics also there. From this, how we need to select is, for example, network security, cryptography, grid computing, mobile computing, and so many topics are there. From this, how we can select is, this is a overall whatever the problem statements are there. From this, I may be selecting a computer networks is my research area. Even in that computer networks, once we selected, then we need to narrow down our topic. It means that there are wired networking is also there, wireless networks also there, and then the what type of topology we are going to select and what kind of security we are going to select. So that is the way we need to narrow down our research. And then if we select as a network security, then network security or system security we want to take, or the web security that we need to select, or the security in social networks, malware analysis, voting system security, vulnerability analysis, language based security, security enhanced microprocess. And then if we are going to select that particular security, then where we need to apply, what type of network we are going to apply. Even though the wireless networks, there are different types of wireless networks are there, out of which networks we are going to select. If we are going to consider as a wireless sensor network, then what kind of applications we have to adopt it. In this sensor network, there are tracking and monitoring. These are all the major headings. Under this heading, whether we need to select a military base or habitat, business or public and industrial, which one we need to select, that we need to narrow down here. And then once we selected a wireless sensor network and the network security, then the routing protocol, data gathering, medium access, location and coverage, test beds, security in wireless sensor network. From this, we need to narrow down our research. And then what type of sensor network we are going to take, whether it is going to be a terrestrial network or underground network or underwater network, multimedia or the mobile wireless sensor networks. This is a way we need to select our topic. Once we selected our topic, the step 2 and 3, we need to go ahead with a comprehensive literature survey and then the problem statement. We need to confine with our problem statement, because once we done our comprehensive literature survey, then only we can be very concrete in our problem statement. Once we get a clear-cut problem statement, then we can easily proceed for a solution part. In this comprehensive literature survey, by referring the old undergraduate or postgraduate project reports, or it may be we can select either a doctoral thesis or Master of Science thesis. And then we need to refer our technical magazines, relevant journals and e-resources by browsing relevant websites, and we need to attend some pre-conference tutorials, conferences, workshops, seminars and special technical lectures. By this way, we can complete our literature survey and then we can concretely take up the problem statements. Step 4 is preparing the extended abstract. Once we identify the problem statement, we need to prepare our extended abstract. In this extended abstract should have a 4 pages with the details. That detail should have a clear and precise title, objective, and what the motivation we have choose this problem statement and what is the need of the day. And then we need to go for a block diagrammic approach and what way you are going to approach the problem. That is a general block diagram. And then what methodology we are planning to implement, proposed methodologies, and then initial itself we need to expect that what kind of results we are expecting from our methodology. That is the expected results. And then we need to mention that what are all the references. At last, very particular, we need to make an action plan for solving this problem, as well as the time schedule also we need to derive it. Step 5, identify the appropriate supervisor. This is very important because they are going to collaborate and they need to complete their project throughout the period. So the supervisor should be act as an advisor, he has to act as a mentor, sometimes he need to act as a friend, philosopher and guide, and finalize the proposed work. Step 6 and 7, learn relevant application software packages and the relevant hardwares. We need to select, once we identify the problem statement and the supervisor, we need to identify which are all the softwares required for solving our problems and which are all the hardware setups we require. Majorly, we need to select the software packages are going to be an open source software, so that we won't find it any difficulty, as well as which will reduce the financial burden for executing our project. So open source softwares we need to select, or if we are going to take up in any other industrial relevant problems or image processing problems, MATLAB Simulink or LabVIEW. Network problems means NS2, Network Simulator 2, Network Simulator 3, QualNet, and then .NET, or different packages which is relevant to your work. At the same time, properly we need to select our hardware and then we should get training in that particular hardware setup. Step 8, research proposal for getting funding. If you want to execute a research project, it involves a lot of financial matters. If you overcome from the financial matters, we need to make a proper research proposal to apply some funding agencies to get a proper fund, so that you can able to complete your project without any financial burdens. So here we need to prepare a comprehensive proposal with the technical details justifying the needs for the fund, and then we need to derive that what is the budget requirement and what the action plan and how much time it will take to complete our project. It means the time frame. If possible, try to tie up with some industry, because ultimately the research is going to be used by the industry. So what type of impact in the society, or it may be industry, that also we need to clearly mention in this research proposals. Step 9, plan periodic meeting with the guide. This is where the most of the scholars are failed to do that. So we need to fix weekly or once in 15 days, or worst case at least monthly, regularly we need to meet the supervisors, and also targets as per the action plan. Whatever the action plan we have framed already, whether it is meeting out the same action plan or not. And then maintain a separate file to note the discussion. Whatever the discussion you are made with your supervisor, that has to be recorded in properly, so that when you are writing a thesis, it will be more helpful. So meet the concrete results. Whenever you meet with your supervisor, you have to go with the concrete results. Either it may be a simulation results or it may be a real-time results. And meeting with the peers and doctoral committee members to review the progress and to get a direction. So the DC members or peer members, they may be also giving some directions to go further in solving your problem statements. Step 10, the documentation. So whenever you are executing that project, you need to document it properly, so that when you are writing in a thesis, it will be more helpful. So the copy of the base papers, that is important first, and then conference proceedings and journal paper reprints and review meeting presentation, whatever the presentation presented in front of DC members and your supervisor, that review meeting presentation, and parallelly accumulate various documents and start the documentation work for report writing. Step 11, research paper writing. So once you get a proper results, then you need to write a good quality research paper, so that you can able to communicate and you can able to publish the papers in a very quality high indexed journals. Here, if you are writing a research paper, the first title and affiliation should be very clear, and then abstract, it should have an keywords which is going to highlight what type of problems you have taken and what type of technology you are going to use, and then introduction with a brief literature survey, and then organization of the paper, different sections which is going to mention all the mathematical modeling, design of controllers or whatever the methodology you are applying, and then results and discussion. Whatever you are finding it from your simulation or the hardware setup, that results has to be discussed properly, and then qualitative and quantitative comparison you have to made with your existing methodology, so that you can defend your methodology is going to be a superior than the conventional methods. At last, you need to summary and conclude it with a reference. Finally, you have to mention your brief CV. Step 12 and 13, present your findings in the relevant conference and journals. Based on your problem statement, you need to identify, you need to find which journals or which society conferences is more suitable with your problem statement. There are a lot of renowned conference and journal societies are there, like IEEE, IEI, IETE, SSI, reputed academic institution conducting conferences, reputed R&D organizations, peer-reviewed journals, and get more inputs from the fine-tune with your work. Also, apart from this, the Springer, elsewhere, ACM, there are a lot more societies are there. Relevant society, journals and conferences, try to publish your papers. Step 14, slides preparation. That slides, whenever you are presenting your research project, that presentation should cover the following all the topics. The first one is title of the project with the DC members and supervisor, and the registration with the coursework details, contents of the presentation, the objective of your research, and what is the need and what is the motivation to take up this problem statement, and what methodology you have applied, and brief introduction with your block diagram, and the discussion on the methodology. In the methodology, what are all the ways and means you have approached to get all those results, and what the equations and derivations, mathematical modeling you are going to use, and then simulation results with the appropriate graphs, tables. If necessary, some charts has to be presented in a proper way by mentioning the quantitative as well as the qualitative comparisons. Then comprehensive summary we need to give from your results, and then concrete conclusion. You have to conclude your research with your conventional method, and you are justifying that your results are more superior than the conventional method results. And the direction for the future work and the important references, at last you need to mention that what are all your quality publications relevant to this area. Step 15, last step, the thesis writing. After all this presentation gets over, you need to write your thesis in a proper way that varies from one university to the another university. So, the scholar has to prepare their thesis as per the guidelines given by the university. So, we must include that appropriate explanation wherever it is required or justified your results or justified your methodology, that appropriate explanation must be there, and then relevant diagrams, charts, graphs which is stating that your results are more better than the conventional methods. At last, the findings has to be given in a proper way with the distinct results. This is the way if you follow all these 15 steps right from the topic selection to the thesis writing, then any one scholar who can take up any research project, they can able to produce a wonderful quality research project in his career. Either it may be a postgraduate level or it may be a Doctor of Philosophy level. Thank you.